Vanessa Michaels had learned early on that success was never given. It was earned through sweat, tears, and the courage to rise again after every fall. In a bustling city dominated by gleaming skyscrapers and a relentless drive for achievement, Vanessa had built a billion-dollar empire from nothing. Her company, Michaels Holdings, was a testament to her ingenuity and determination. A real estate powerhouse spanning the country, yet behind every accomplishment lay a painful truth. Despite her success, the color of her skin often defined the way she was treated by a society that still clung to old prejudices. Imagine stepping into one of the city's most prestigious hotels, expecting nothing less than the royal treatment, only to be turned away at the door, not for any lack of credentials, but simply because you don't look the way the establishment expects its VIP guests to look. That was the reality Vanessa faced on a day that would forever alter her destiny. It was a typical Baltimore morning, with the sun's golden light spilling over the city's historic streets. Vanessa, in her mid-30s and dressed impeccably in a tailored navy moon suit, stepped out of her sleek black sedan. Every detail of her appearance reflected the years of hard work and perseverance that had brought her from humble beginnings to the helm of a billion-dollar enterprise. Yet, despite all she had achieved, Vanessa carried with her a burden, a reminder of every moment she had been judged, not by her merits, but by the color of her skin. On that day, she had planned a celebratory week-long stay at the legendary Avalon Hotel, a beacon of luxury and exclusivity. As she approached the grand entrance, the gleaming marble underfoot seemed to mock her. A strange tension filled her chest. Vanessa cast a glance over her shoulder to see Bethany, her trusted assistant of more than a decade, following closely with their luggage. "You confirmed the reservation, right?" Vanessa asked, her voice steady yet edged with uncertainty. Bethany's reassuring smile and firm response, "Triple-checked. You're their VIP guest for the week. Everything's perfect," did little to quiet the inner apprehension that had plagued her for years. Inside the hotel, the lobby was a dazzling spectacle of opulence. High ceilings, sparkling chandeliers, and intricately designed details spoke of a world of refined elegance. Vanessa's heart lifted for a brief moment, until she and Bethany approached the front desk. A young receptionist, her smile forced and her eyes betraying discomfort, greeted them with a curt, "Good afternoon, how can I help you?" Bethany stepped forward confidently, announcing, "We have a reservation under Vanessa Michaels." For a few long seconds, the receptionist's eyes flickered with an emotion Vanessa recognized all too well. Then, without explanation, the receptionist said, "I'm sorry, but I'm not seeing a reservation under that name." In that instant, Vanessa felt the old sting of rejection surge within her. It wasn't merely a clerical error. It was a deliberate dismissal, a reminder that no matter how high she soared, prejudice remained, ever present. Bethany, maintaining a professional demeanor, replied, "We confirmed this reservation weeks ago. Could you please check again?" The receptionist hesitated, clearly uncomfortable, before picking up the phone. Moments later, a man in a crisp grey suit appeared at the desk. "I'm Robert Stevens, the manager," he introduced himself with a polite but distant tone. "I understand there's an issue with your reservation." Vanessa met his gaze directly, already knowing the outcome. "I am afraid there's been a misunderstanding," Robert said, his voice laced with a veneer of courtesy that barely concealed his reluctance. "Our suites are fully booked, and unfortunately we won't be able to accommodate you today." Bethany's anger was palpable, her face flushing with indignation, yet Vanessa, seasoned by years of facing such injustice, placed a gentle hand on Bethany's arm. "I see," she said, her voice calm and measured. "Thank you for your time, Mr. Stevens." With that, she turned and walked away, her head held high, a silent testament to her resilience. As they stepped back onto the sidewalk, Bethany could no longer contain her frustration. "Vanessa, this is insane. We should call the press, get a lawyer involved. They can't treat you like this," she exclaimed. Vanessa paused, taking a deep, steady breath as she looked at Bethany. "I've been fighting this battle my whole life," she said softly. "This isn't the first time I've been shut out because of my skin, and it likely won't be the last. But I refuse to fight them on their terms." A determined smile slowly replaced the sorrow on her face. "We regroup, find another hotel for tonight, and then I have plans for the Avalon." That evening, in a modest hotel room far removed from the grandeur of the Avalon, Vanessa sat at her laptop. The sting of humiliation had sparked a new fire within her, a resolve to turn every slight into an opportunity. She had always been adept at transforming obstacles into stepping stones, and now she saw a way to reclaim her dignity and redefine the narrative. With her vast business acumen and a network of influential contacts, Vanessa began to delve into the intricacies of the Avalon's operations. It turned out that beneath its dazzling facade, the hotel was struggling financially. Its ownership was desperate to maintain an image of exclusivity, and that very vulnerability presented the perfect opportunity for someone of Vanessa's expertise. In a quiet corner of a bustling local cafe, Vanessa picked up her phone and called her lawyer. "Let's make an offer they can't refuse," she said decisively. The negotiations were swift and meticulous. Within days, Vanessa had quietly secured the rights to the Avalon Hotel. The news sent shockwaves through the industry, silencing those who had doubted her resolve. This was not an act of revenge. It was a bold declaration that change was coming. A few days after the acquisition, Vanessa returned to the Avalon, not as a rejected guest, but as its new owner. The transformation was instantaneous. As she walked through the grand entrance, the atmosphere shifted palpably. The receptionist, who had once denied her entry, now looked on in shock. With a calm and commanding voice, Vanessa declared, "I'm not here for a reservation today. I'm here as the new owner." The words echoed through the lobby, leaving no doubt about the power dynamic that had just been reversed. Over the following weeks, Vanessa began a comprehensive overhaul of the hotel's operations. She held meetings with every department, from housekeeping to management, outlining her vision for a future built on inclusivity and respect. "The Avalon will no longer be a place where anyone is discriminated against," she proclaimed, her voice steady and resolute. "Every guest, regardless of their background, will be welcomed with the dignity they deserve." The message was clear. The old ways were over. Robert Stevens, once the manager who had casually dismissed her, was given a stark choice: adapt to this new era or leave. Vanessa's vision was non-negotiable. Determined to instill a culture of genuine inclusivity, Vanessa enlisted the help of top experts in diversity and inclusion. She reformed the hotel's hiring practices, ensuring that the new team would reflect the rich diversity of the community. Every employee, from the front desk to the kitchen, was required to embody the values of fairness and respect. Vanessa introduced a series of transformative initiatives at the Avalon. Community events, cultural exhibits, and public forums on social justice became regular features in the hotel's calendar. The once sterile grand ballroom transformed into a vibrant hub of creativity, where local artists, musicians, and speakers shared their talents and stories. The hotel, once a symbol of exclusivity, was slowly becoming a beacon of progress and unity. Bethany remained a steadfast presence throughout this transformation, her support unwavering. One evening, as the two reviewed glowing feedback from guests and community leaders, Bethany remarked, "You've turned something broken into a force for good." Vanessa's eyes sparkled with a mix of pride and determination. "This is only the beginning," she replied softly. "We're not just transforming a hotel, we're setting an example for an entire industry." News of the Avalon's transformation quickly spread beyond the city. Local newspapers, national magazines, and television networks picked up the story of Vanessa Michaels, the visionary entrepreneur who had turned personal rejection into a catalyst for change. Interviews and feature stories highlighted her journey, emphasizing the themes of resilience, empowerment, and the relentless pursuit of justice. At every public speaking engagement, Vanessa shared her story with honesty and passion. Every setback, she told audiences, is an opportunity in disguise. When faced with injustice, we have a choice: to accept it or to challenge it. I chose to challenge it, and that choice has defined my journey. Her message resonated with countless people, sparking discussions about diversity, inclusion, and the transformative power of standing up for what is right. Vanessa's work began to influence industries beyond hospitality. Business leaders, inspired by her example, started re-examining their own practices. They realized that inclusivity was not only the right thing to do, it was also good for business. The Avalon became a case study in ethical leadership, its success inspiring other institutions to adopt similar policies. Vanessa's legacy was growing, reaching far beyond the walls of the hotel and into the broader fabric of society. As the Avalon flourished under Vanessa's leadership, it became more than just a hotel. It evolved into a community center where diversity was celebrated and differences were embraced. Regular cultural events, charity fundraisers, and educational workshops turned the hotel into a vibrant nexus of community life. People from all walks of life found common ground here, united by the belief in a better, more inclusive future. For Vanessa, the transformation of the Avalon was deeply personal. In the quiet moments after long days of meetings and strategic planning, she often reflected on the years of struggle that had led her to this moment. Sitting in her office with the city's lights shimmering below, Vanessa would write in her journal, capturing every detail, the setbacks, the victories, and the dreams for what lay ahead. These reflections served as both a record of her journey and a source of inspiration for future generations. Vanessa's story began to take on a life of its own. Educational institutions invited her to speak about overcoming adversity, and her experiences became integral to business and leadership curricula. Young entrepreneurs, especially those from marginalized backgrounds, found in her journey a beacon of hope, a reminder that no matter how many obstacles they faced, success was attainable with resilience and determination. And despite the monumental changes at the Avalon, Vanessa's ambitions extended far beyond a single hotel. With the success of her transformation, she envisioned a network of enterprises dedicated to fostering inclusivity and empowerment. She began investing in community projects, educational initiatives, and technology startups that aimed to provide opportunities for underrepresented groups. In boardrooms and strategic meetings, she challenged conventional notions of success. "It isn't enough to build an empire for personal gain," she declared at one meeting. "Our success is measured by the impact we have on our communities and by the lives we uplift along the way." Through partnerships with local governments, non-profit organizations, and academic institutions, Vanessa launched mentorship programs that paired seasoned professionals with emerging talents. Scholarships were established to help bright, determined students pursue higher education, and community centers were built to serve as incubators for creativity and innovation. Her initiatives began to create tangible changes. Neighborhoods once marginalized started to flourish, and new businesses emerged, driven by a spirit of unity and shared purpose. No transformation comes without its challenges. As Vanessa's vision spread, there were those who clung to old ways, resistant to change. In some boardrooms and public forums, critics questioned the financial viability of her inclusive policies and argued that such investments were a luxury rather than a necessity. "How do you justify these costs?" some asked, implying that diversity and inclusion were at odds with profitability. Vanessa's response was always measured and resolute. "The true cost," she countered, "is measured not in dollars, but in the lives we fail to enrich when we ignore diversity. Our investments in inclusion are not expenses, they are the building blocks of a stronger, more innovative society. When we create opportunities for everyone, the returns we earn are immeasurable." Her calm defiance and unwavering commitment slowly won over even the most skeptical critics, as the benefits of her policies became increasingly apparent in the growing success of the Avalon and its ripple effects throughout the industry. Over the years, the Avalon evolved into much more than a hotel. It became a symbol of transformation, a living monument to the power of resilience and the triumph of inclusion. Annual events held at the Avalon celebrated not just the success of the establishment, but also the progress made toward a more equitable society. Awards were given to community leaders who championed diversity, and the hotel itself was frequently cited as a case study in how ethical leadership could redefine an industry. Vanessa's journey resonated deeply with people of all ages. In schools, her story was taught as an example of overcoming adversity, while in universities, her strategies were studied as innovative approaches to leadership and change. Young entrepreneurs, especially those from historically marginalized communities, found inspiration in her journey, understanding that each setback was merely a stepping stone toward greater achievements. Vanessa's legacy was no longer confined to her personal triumphs. It had grown into a movement that championed justice, equality, and the belief that every individual deserved a seat at the table. In the quiet hours of the night, when the bustle of the day gave way to reflection, Vanessa would often gaze out of her office window at the city's glittering skyline. Each light represented a story, a struggle, a victory, a dream realized. These moments of solitude allowed her to reflect on the road she had traveled, the rejections, the battles, and ultimately the triumphs that had reshaped her destiny. In her journal, Vanessa poured her heart out, documenting every challenge and every breakthrough. These writings served as both a personal catharsis and a roadmap for others, a reminder that every hardship carried within it the seeds of transformation. She remembered the day she was turned away at the Avalon like it was etched into her soul. The memory of that painful rejection, instead of weighing her down, had propelled her forward. It was that very moment that sparked her determination to reclaim her dignity and transform the industry. Vanessa's reflections became a beacon for others, a call to rise above adversity and forge a future where every individual could thrive. Vanessa Michaels knew that the fight for equality was never ending. Even as the Avalon Hotel stood as a symbol of progress, she remained acutely aware that change had to continue. The world was evolving, and with it new challenges emerged. But Vanessa was undeterred. She dedicated herself to continual improvement. Not just at the Avalon, but across every venture she touched. Her mission was clear: to build a legacy that would inspire future generations to stand up against injustice, to challenge discrimination wherever it reared its head, and to always remember that every voice mattered. Her ongoing initiatives expanded beyond the hotel. Vanessa worked tirelessly to create a network of programs that would support underserved communities, foster innovation, and promote inclusion in all sectors. Whether through mentorship, education, or direct community investment, she aimed to create opportunities for those who had long been denied them. Her work was a testament to the belief that when barriers are dismantled, society as a whole benefits. Looking ahead, Vanessa's vision extended far beyond her current successes. She dreamed of a future where every institution, be it in business, education, or government, embraced the principles of fairness and inclusion. A future where every individual, regardless of background, could contribute to the collective progress of society. In that future, the lessons learned from her own journey would serve as guiding principles for generations to come. Vanessa began to collaborate with policymakers, community leaders, and innovators to develop initiatives that would create lasting change. Together, they explored ways to ensure that diversity was not just a buzzword, but a core value embedded in every aspect of society. Through public forums, think tanks, and strategic alliances, Vanessa's ideas spread like wildfire. The ripple effects of her work were felt in local neighborhoods, state governments, and even at the national level. Her story became a powerful reminder that when one person dares to challenge injustice, the entire world can be transformed. Of course, such a monumental journey was not without its personal sacrifices. Vanessa experienced moments of solitude, doubt, and exhaustion. There were nights when the weight of the world seemed unbearable, when the memories of rejection threatened to overwhelm her. Yet in those moments she found strength in her own resilience and in the support of those who believed in her vision. In private, Vanessa acknowledged the toll that this battle had taken on her spirit, yet she also recognized that each struggle had forged her into a stronger, more empathetic leader. Her personal sacrifices were the price of progress, a price she was willing to pay for a future where every individual could stand tall and proud. The scars of past wounds became marks of honor, symbols of the battles fought and the victories won. As the years passed, the Avalon Hotel's transformation continued to garner accolades and admiration. What was once a fortress of exclusion had become a sanctuary of inclusion, a place where people from all walks of life came together in celebration of diversity and unity. Annual celebrations were held to commemorate the hotel's rebirth, with speeches that recounted the journey from rejection to redemption and performances that celebrated the vibrant tapestry of American culture. These events not only honored Vanessa's achievements, but also served as a rallying point for the community. They reminded everyone that progress was not merely an abstract ideal, but a tangible reality forged through determination, collaboration, and a steadfast belief in justice. The Avalon had become a living testament to the idea that change is not only possible but inevitable when we dare to challenge the status quo. Today, Vanessa Michaels' journey stands as a beacon for all who have ever faced discrimination or felt diminished by society's narrow expectations. Her story is a reminder that the pursuit of equality is a marathon, not a sprint, that every setback carries with it the potential for future triumph. In boardrooms, classrooms, and community centers across the nation, her legacy is celebrated as an example of what can be achieved when we refuse to be defined by the limitations imposed upon us. Young entrepreneurs, inspired by Vanessa's determination, are now forging paths in industries that were once closed off to them. Activists and community leaders cite her as proof that a single act of defiance can spark a revolution. And ordinary citizens, moved by her courage, are beginning to see that change is within their grasp too. Vanessa's work is far from finished. With every new challenge that arises, she remains committed to the ongoing battle for justice and inclusion. Her initiatives continue to evolve, embracing the latest technologies and innovative strategies to reach even more people. From launching new mentorship programs to partnering with cutting-edge startups, Vanessa is dedicated to ensuring that her legacy of inclusion expands with the times. As she looks to the future, Vanessa remains optimistic. The road ahead may be long and fraught with obstacles, but she knows that every step taken toward progress brings us closer to a world where every individual is valued. Her story, filled with both pain and triumph, serves as a constant reminder that, even in the face of overwhelming adversity, the human spirit is capable of remarkable transformation. Vanessa Michaels turned a moment of crushing rejection into a powerful catalyst for change. Her journey from being turned away at a prestigious hotel to reclaiming that very establishment as the new owner is a story of resilience, transformation, and unwavering commitment to justice. It challenges us to confront our own biases, to question the systems that perpetuate inequality, and to work tirelessly toward a future where every person has a seat at the table. As you reflect on this story, consider the ways in which discrimination still manifests in our society and the power each of us holds to effect change. Vanessa's legacy is not just her own, it belongs to all who dare to dream of a better, fairer world. Let her story inspire you to stand up against injustice, to use your own strengths to break down barriers, and to join in the collective effort to build a more inclusive future. We invite you to share your thoughts in the comments, to subscribe for more content that challenges the status quo, and to become part of a movement that believes in the power of resilience and unity. Together, we can continue to write a story of transformation, one where every setback is met with renewed determination and every barrier gives way to the light of progress. Vanessa Michaels' journey is far from over. With every new challenge, she continues to adapt, to innovate, and to inspire. Her legacy, a blend of personal triumph, professional excellence, and unwavering commitment to justice, serves as a beacon for all who dare to dream of a more inclusive future. The Avalon Hotel, now a vibrant symbol of progress, stands as a daily reminder of what is possible when we refuse to be defined by prejudice. As you reflect on Vanessa's story, remember that her journey is not just a tale of personal redemption, it is a call to action. It invites us all to examine the systems that govern our lives and to work together in creating a society where every individual is valued for who they are. In a world that is too often divided by superficial distinctions, Vanessa's story reminds us that unity, empathy, and courage can bring about profound change. We invite you to join this ongoing movement. Share your thoughts, your experiences, and your hopes for the future. Subscribe for more content that challenges the status quo and celebrates the indomitable spirit of those who dare to make a difference. Let Vanessa Michaels' journey inspire you to turn your own setbacks into stepping stones for change, and to contribute to a legacy of inclusion that will outlive us all. As the story continues to unfold, know that every act of courage, every time someone stands up for what is right, adds another thread to the rich tapestry of progress. Together we can build a future where justice, equality, and compassion are not just aspirations but realities. The road ahead is long, and challenges will persist, but with unity and determination, we can ensure that every individual finds their rightful place at the table. Even as Vanessa's achievements continued to reverberate across the nation and the world, she remained focused on the future. She knew that the fight for equality and justice was an ongoing journey, one that required constant vigilance, innovation, and compassion. New challenges would undoubtedly arise, but Vanessa was prepared to meet them head-on. Her ongoing initiatives evolved with the times, embracing emerging technologies and fresh ideas. She spearheaded new projects aimed at bridging gaps in education, healthcare, and economic opportunity, ensuring that her vision for a more inclusive society reached every corner of the nation. Collaborative efforts with policymakers, community leaders, and fellow entrepreneurs helped to shape a dynamic landscape where progress was not only possible, but inevitable. Vanessa's vision for the future was expansive. She dreamed of a world where every organization, whether in business, education, or government, operated under the guiding principles of fairness, respect, and inclusion. A world where no one was judged by superficial standards, but rather celebrated for their unique contributions to society. With unwavering determination, she worked to lay the foundation for that future, one step at a time. Vanessa's influence extended far into the business world, where her pioneering efforts prompted a re-evaluation of long-standing practices. Traditional hotels and luxury establishments, once known for their rigid exclusivity, began to embrace a more inclusive approach to hospitality. Industry conferences and trade shows started featuring panels on diversity and ethical leadership, with Vanessa's strategies serving as a benchmark for success. Innovative technologies were also adopted to enhance customer service and ensure that every guest was treated with respect. From implementing advanced guest feedback systems to using data analytics to monitor and improve service standards, the industry began to see that inclusivity and technological advancement were not mutually exclusive. Vanessa's approach demonstrated that by merging empathy with innovation, businesses could not only meet the evolving demands of consumers, but also drive sustainable growth. Moreover, several major hotel chains began to adopt policies similar to those implemented at the Avalon. New training programs, revised hiring practices, and comprehensive customer service protocols were rolled out, with a focus on eradicating bias and fostering a welcoming environment. The transformation of the Avalon thus became a catalyst, a spark that ignited a broader evolution within the hospitality sector.